In May 2023, Netflix told roughly 100 million people to stop using the service for free. Every analyst predicted disaster, cancellations, subscriber exodus, fury. The stock would tank. And then the data came back. Netflix recorded its 4 largest days of US subscriber acquisition in over 4 years. Daily signups doubled. Within 1 quarter, Netflix added 13.1 million new paying subscribers, the biggest Q4 in the company's history. So what did everyone get wrong? And what did Netflix understand about human behavior that the analysts completely missed? Let's pack it up a little. Netflix had a problem. Around 100 million households were sharing passwords with people outside their home. That meant roughly 100 million people were getting full Netflix access, entire libraries, new releases, everything, without paying a cent. And for years, Netflix tolerated it, maybe even encouraged it. There was a theory that password sharing was basically free marketing. Get people hooked on the content and eventually they would pay. But here's what changed. Netflix subscriber growth stalled. Then it actually declined for the first time in a decade. And management realized something. Those 100 million freeloading households weren't eventually going to pay. They already had the product. They had no incentive to upgrade. So Netflix made the call. Enforce household-only access. Make the freeloaders decide. Pay or leave. The conventional prediction was that most would leave. And to be honest, some did. But here's what the analysts got wrong. They confused loud users with the actual population. The people screaming online about canceling Netflix were not the same people who had been casually sharing a login for 2 years. The casual users, the ones actually hooked on the content, mostly just signed up because they wanted to keep watching. Friction of being cut off was greater than the cost of subscription. This is a well-documented psychological principle called loss aversion. Losing access to something you already use and enjoy feels significantly worse than the equivalent cost of keeping it. Netflix didn't offer these users something new. It threatened to take away something familiar. And that threat converted at a rate nobody expected. And well, there's a second layer too. Netflix introduced a low-priced ad-supported tier just before the crackdown. So for people who were sharing an account and suddenly had to pay, the cheapest entry point was a few dollars, not the full subscription price. That ad-supported tier saw 70% membership growth in Q4 2023 alone, and it accounted for 40% of all new signups in eligible markets. Netflix had built a ladder. Get cut off, see the cheap option, sign up. By the end of it, Netflix had gained roughly 50 million subscribers since the crackdown began. The stock rose approximately 70% in the year following. And the company's CEO wrote in their earnings letter, "We believe we have successfully addressed account sharing." And that's corporate for we were right and everyone else was wrong. Here's the bigger pattern. This is how every successful platform eventually deals with a free rider problem. You let it run while you're building the habit. You let people fall in love with the product. And then, when the dependency is real, when living genuinely hurts, that's when you close the door. So Netflix didn't push free riders. It just waited until the psychology was on its side. Then it acted. The next time a platform tells you the sharing is fine, remember this. They are not being generous. They are just letting you get hooked. And the bill? The bill comes later.